First of all, Dave Fennoy is one of my favorite people. And he also is a favorite voice to many of us. I mean, the voice is everywhere. Dave, you know that you were my mentor in the voice business.
Well, I'm a wonderful mentor, and you were a fabulous student.
Now, remember how we used to be at our agency and we would come in, everybody was sitting around in the room getting ready to audition, and I would just be so enthralled with you. You have done such an incredible job with voice.
Well, thank you.
How did it all start for you?
Well, I had been it started because my mother made sure that I could read and speak well. But moving many years further, I had been a disc jockey in the San Francisco Bay Area at a radio station, KSOL. I did mornings there, working under the name Billy David Ocean. And while I was in San Francisco, I discovered this thing called voiceover work. When another buddy of mine was leaving, hey, where you going? Well, I'm going to do some voiceover work. You know, I make more money at that than I do on the radio. And kind of a light bulb went off. And I didn't do anything about it for a couple of years, but it was an itch that I finally had to scratch. And in 1990, I moved to L.A. I had taken a class up north. Take class. Schooling, education.
Got to.
I had taken a class with Lee Gilbert, who had been an agent at Sutton Bartholomew Agency here in Los Angeles. And after the class, she said, you know, you're very talented. If you'd ever like to be represented by SBV and come to LA, we'd love to have you. And of course, I was morning man on the #1 music station in town, so I said, yeah, I'll do that. And a few months later, the station fired the whole staff, including yours truly. And I got on the phone, were you serious? Can I really? And she said, come on down. So I put together a new demo, and a couple months later, I was commuting back and forth between Los Angeles and San Francisco.
Wow. Isn't that interesting how life happens? I mean, because I know there's somebody listening right now who probably just lost their job. Hey, congratulations. You might be on the beginning of a new career.
Well, maybe. A lot of people who have wonderful voice, I have a wonderful deep voice. Mm-hmm. I've been told I should do voiceover work. And that's wonderful. It's great that you have a great voice, but you really have to have acting ability. Mm-hmm. You really need to be able to, what I say, take the words off the page.
Well, you know, I tell people, I say, first of all, you've got, like you said, you've got to take a workshop. It's beyond just having a great voice. Like you say, it's acting. I always say, McDonald's has never sold a hamburger. McDonald's sells happiness.
Yes.
So when you get that copy, they want to hear that smile in your voice.
That deliciousness.
That's right. And insurance, you're
Even
selling...
though their food isn't really food.
Right.
Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
Or you have like an insurance commercial. You're selling assurance. So you have to bring all of that in there. You have taken voice to a whole nother level. And you are in something that I find so fascinating. I call it gaming, but I understand it's changed its name even.
Well, you know, I still call it video games. But as the industry is growing, the term that is coming into vogue is interactive entertainment, because it is. And few people know how big the gaming industry is. It's a worldwide industry. It's bigger than music and movies combined.
Really?
Never been a movie that made $1 billion in a day. In the last 12 months, we had 3 or 4 games that did.
What?
Yes.
In a day?
In a day. Just had a big release yesterday. Well, we're doing this later, but just had a recent big release, Batman Arkham Knights. I'm not sure how well it'll do, but it will be in the hundreds of millions, and I happen to have a part of that
And
game.
what part are you in the Batman?
I'm not supposed to talk too much about it, but I play the part of Lucius Fox. And if you've watched the recent Batman movies, it's the Morgan Freeman part.
Okay.
So.
All right. But you I mean, just listen to your reel, and we're going to listen to Dave's reel in just a second. But just name all of the characters that you play. The gamers are going to go nuts.
I have been in more than 100 games. I cannot name all the characters but probably the one most people know me for is Lee Everett from the Walking Dead game. The game won about 100 Game of the Year awards. I was nominated 5 times as best performance in a video game. Even a BAFTA, British Academy of Film and Television Arts, got to go to London for the ceremony. Didn't win.
Next time.
But I understand when the actors say, who've been nominated for an Oscar, it is an honor just to be nominated. It really is. But I did win a Machinima Award and a Dice Award. So 2 out of 5. I'll
Ain't
take
bad.
it. I'll take
Well, let's
it.
take a listen to Dave Fennoy's voice reel and see if you recognize any of these voices. That's absolutely amazing, Dave. No. Tell me, why do you think games are so big?
Well, it's another form of entertainment. As the world has become more technological, it just fits right in with the direction that the human race is going in. And really, one of the things I think is that interactive entertainment is a revolution in entertainment. Most people don't think about this very much, but from the time that the first caveman told stories around the campfire, or the African griots told fables and tales of creation, and Shakespeare and Menander and whatever playwrights from way back to now, to television, to movies, it's always been an audience sat down, watched a performance, took it in, clapped or booed, and then went on their way. Finally, we are involved in the storytelling. If you're a gamer who plays The Last of Us, the Walking Dead game, any number of games, you have a part in how the story goes. You become part of the storytelling. That's never happened before in human evolution of entertainment. So it's you, and it's not going away. The average age of a gamer is in their 30s now.
Really?
The average time they've been playing is 15 plus years, between 15 and 20 years. Sex, yes, please.
There is no sex now because you're
Yeah.
gaming all the time, right?
Wow. But
Harry,
males and
yeah.
females, men still outnumber women, but only by a little bit. It's about 52%
There are a lot
to
of
48%.
women gamers?
A lot of women gamers. I was at E3, the big convention here for interactive entertainment, electronic entertainment. And one of the things I noticed, because I've been there the last few years, was the number of women, many more women at E3 this year than I've ever seen.
I wonder why.
Well, there are more and more women gaming. There are more and more women getting into the gaming business. I had a chance to go to Malmo, Sweden for a gaming conference where they asked me to speak. Fools that they were. The whole thing was done in English, which was amazing because it was Norway, Denmark, Sweden, Finland, and Germany. But lots and lots of women creating games in the gaming business as game producers and writing stories because they're now just as interested in gaming as young men are.
And is there any competition? Can you win money and prizes gaming?
As a matter of fact, there are professional gamers now. I've got a buddy of mine, English guy, happens to be black, Ryan Hart, who's a world champion gamer. He plays like Mortal Kombat and wins thousands and thousands of dollars. I had a chance to go with him to a competition here in Los Angeles, and he happened not to win that one. I guess I was bad luck. But the 17-year-old young man who did walked away with a check for $10,000.
What?
You have other games like Dota 2. I play 6 characters in, no, that's 6. 6 characters in Dota 2. They have competitions where the winning team wins upwards of $1 million.
Wow.
And they take place in huge convention centers in a huge room with a movie-size screen, teams of 5 on either side, and in between them, you've got play-by-play and color announcers, and it sounds most like Monday Night. Oh, look, and Bet Ryder, he took him out. Who's going to win? I don't know if he can recover from this one, Bob. That's what it sounds like. Wow. And it's interesting, but South Koreans tend to be the best players on these teams. And there are even some stories now of South Korean kids dying because they won't get away from the computer.
Oh, see,
they want to be so good.
Let me ask you about that, because there's some people who say that, the gaming can go too far, that you can really mess up your education, or you may not ever come out the house. Or
Well, anything can go too far. I think for most people, it's not a problem. For some people, it is a problem. And actually, the gaming industry is addressing that, like Telltale Games, who did the Walking Dead game. It was specifically set up in 5 episodes per season that you can play in 2-hour chunks. So you can keep your job and your relationship.
And still have, I think I did one of the first games when they first came out, and a 6-year-old whooped my butt. It's like,
Yeah.
I have never done it. But for what I've seen, the games have changed tremendously. I know in the voiceover work, it's not like all the screaming and yelling. Now there's actually plot line.
Oh, yeah.
And they've really evolved. I mean, I maybe I need to start with what game would I start with if I'm trying to try something new?
Not to scratch my own back. Oh, that itch. But the Walking Dead game is a great because it's not dependent upon your skill level.
Okay.
It's really more about making choices. What kind of choice would this human being? Would I save this person or would I save that person?
Wow.
Who would I feed? Would I feed that person or would I feed that person? And people tell me all the time that this was the first game where they felt connected to the characters, and that in the final scene in season 1, the goodbye between myself and the little girl that I'm protecting, or the character, that they cried. And this is grown men crying like little babies. Man, no, Lee, no.
And so the cartoon or the animation is crying. This is fascinating. We're always on the show talking about trying something new. And I think I'm going to have to start gaming. Or at least try.
Well, I should say that I am teaching workshops on voiceover for video games now. I was just in Atlanta and did a 2-day workshop. I just did one here in Los Angeles. I'll be going to Orlando and Chicago and Dallas. We're going to hit D.C. and I even have something planned for London early next year.
Wow. So I might need to get in one of your classes.
Well, sister.
There you go. Come on, help a sister out. I got to
yeah.
put you on the radio. I'll put you on YouTube. Hook a sister up, right? Anything else that you want to say? Because there's so many people who just really admire the voiceover business, and goodness knows, I know why. It's a great business.
Well, I would remind people that, one, it doesn't matter what kind of voice you have. It's acting. It's connecting. Every voiceover is a conversation. And if you can touch people here and here.
In your head and heart.
In your head and your heart, you can have a voiceover career. But get the training. Get your acting chops up.
That's right. And there's so many different forms of voiceover. There's promos, there's commercial voices, there's announcing.
There are more forms of voiceover now. I used to think I did it all, and I've done most. Oh, come to think of it, I probably have done it all. I have done narration for National Geographic, Science Channel, Discovery, promos for most of the major networks. At one time, I was a Hulu guy for 7 years, from beginning until just last year. I do in-show announce, 15 years, Image Awards, but also the Billboard Music Awards, the Trumpet Awards, the American Music Awards, lots of different things. I have a wide range, but now one of the biggest areas is audiobooks. I have done 2. And I hope to not do a 3rd, except somebody just offered me one.
That's a long, boring thing to do.
It's a marathon, but I said I'm going to do it because they asked, and the money was good. And it was on a subject that I'm very interested in. But there are lots of places you can work. You don't have to do everything. You have people that specialize in medical announce. You have people that specialize in ebooks.
The person who talks really fast and says you might have diarrhea or a heart attack.
That person.
And also animation is so much fun. I love animation.
Animation is wonderful, and you can catch me on Guardians of the Galaxy. I play Korath, and if you're looking at the movie, that was the Jaimin Hansu part.
Yeah, because you play monsters, you play...
every kind
of... And listen, and they're also like animals. I mean, we know people who have some of the most expensive meows and barks in the world.
I did a game the other day, and I played some kind of wolf character. And I can't tell you what it is, but I also, in the same game, I got to be Russian man. So you'll never know.
Well, that's what happens. You get in there, and then the director may say, "Hey, I need a cab driver. Can you do
Absolutely.
a cab?" You can do.
Can you do a New York cab driver? Yeah, come on. Hey, get in the car.
Okay, all right. So let's play a little word recognition here, or a little character recognition. I'm gonna throw out something and give me a voice.
Uh-oh. It's a test.
It's a test. What's a good one? Okay, so you are a villain who has a strange tick.
I'm going to kill you, but first I have to take my medication.
Okay. Now on this one, you're a loving dad, but you have just lost it. You've lost your temper.
Junior, come on, man. Really? That is no way to treat your sister or your mother or the dog, and especially not me.
Okay, now play the dog.
This dog makes her a little cat there.
All right, can you play a machine?
Or
That's cool.
Little
That
alien.
was cool. You're right. Anything else that you want to say?
you know what? Just you and I have been friends for so long, and I value your friendship so much. And
you too.
thank you for inviting me on. And if you're somebody out there who is interested in voiceover, I encourage you to do your thing and know your brand and keep stepping.
Keep stepping. And you can also take Dave Fennoy's classes.
There you go.
Yeah. Where do we find you?
You can go to my website, davefennoy.com. You can friend me on Facebook. Follow me at Dave Fennoy Voice Actor, or like me at Dave Fennoy Voice Actor, or follow me at Dave Fennoy.
And that's Fennoy. Dave Fennoy, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Lift every voice.